President-elect Yoon Suk-yeol started organizing a transitional committee for the incoming government. People's Party leader An Chol-soo is up for consideration to lead the committee.
Yoon Suk-yeol will step up efforts to organize a transitional committee which will design a blueprint for the new government. In many cases, a presidential candidate designed such a committee ahead of time, but for various reasons, Yoon was unable to do so.
인수위원회를 좀 생각할 겨를이 없었습니다. 빠른 시일 내에 구상을 해서 국민들 보시기에 불안하지 않도록 빨리 출범을 시키겠고요.
He plans to fill up key posts such as committee chair and vice chair by the weekend. An Chol-soo is likely to head the committee. When the People's Party leader dropped out of the race, Yoon had promised to work with him from the transition stage. However, some speculate An may not take the job since there are still many pending issues such as the merger of the two parties. Jang Jae-won, one of Yoon's closest associates, has been appointed as the president-elect's chief of staff. He will be in charge of launching the committee and vetting officials.
이제 인수위원회를 출범시키고 또 지원하고 하는 일들을 하는 한 2달간의 이제 일들인데 좀 소규모로 효율적으로 빨리 그것도 조직을 해서
Yoon will have a separate committee for national unity within the transitional committee. He will also form a team for the relocation of the presidential office to the government complex SEOUL in the city center. The transitional committee will likely discuss abolishing the Ministry of Gender Equality and Family, as it was one of Yoon's key campaign pledges.
President-elect Yoon Suk-yeol has briefly outlined his vision on managing state affairs. He says he'll take stern measures against corruption and irregularities according to law and order and respond to North Koreans' actions according to principles.
During his election campaign, President-elect Yoon Suk-yeol emphasized fairness, common sense, and justice. Yoon has vowed to address corruption and irregularities in a stern manner.
민주주의를 위협하는 부정부패는 내 편, 내 편 가릴 것 없이 국민 편에서 엄단하고 우리 국민 누구에게나 공정하게 적용되는 법치의 원칙을 확고하게 지켜나가겠습니다.
However, the president-elect refrained from commenting immediately on the Daejangdong land development scandal, an issue he repeatedly brought up during his election campaign.
대장동 얘기는 오늘은 좀 안 하는 게 좋지 않겠습니까? 그런 모든 문제들은 시스템에 의해서 이제 가야 될 문제 아니겠습니까?
Regarding North Korea's continuous provocations this year, Yoon says the door to inter-Korean dialogue is always open, but he pledged to take strict measures against Pyongyang's provocative actions.
북한의 불법적이고 불합리한 행동에 대해서는 원칙에 따라 단호하게 대처하되 남북 대화의 문은 언제든 열어둘 것입니다.
The president-elect's spouse, Kim Gon-hee, says her priority is to help the president-elect focus on implementing his duties. She added she might ponder ways to help socially marginalized people and the underprivileged if the right circumstances allow it.
Main opposition People Power Party's floor leader Kim Ki-yeon said that rival parties must hold further discussions to ensure a fair investigation into the Daejangdong land development scandal involving the ruling party's presidential candidate Lee Jae-myung. But Kim added that a bill paving the way for a special counsel probe will not be unilaterally pushed. He said that while irregularities must be brought to light, there is concern over the repeated practice of political purges carried out in the name of stamping out corruption when a new government takes power. U.S. State Department spokesman Ned Price has congratulated President-elect Yoon Suk-yeol on his election win. He said the South Korea-U.S. alliance, along with the two sides' economic ties and close friendship of the people, is and remains the linchpin for peace, security, and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific. Price said the U.S. looks forward to working with Yoon to deepen cooperation on key global challenges, which include security challenges the allies both confront. Meanwhile, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un visited the West Sea satellite launch site in Dongchangni, Pyeongan-buk-do province and instructed site expansion and modernization. Since the launch facility is capable of firing long-distance rockets, North Korea appears to be getting ready for intercontinental ballistic missile launches on the pretext of testing a reconnaissance satellite.
The Korean Central News Agency and daily newspaper Nodongshinmun reported that Kim Jong-un visited the West Sea satellite launch site in order the facility's modernization and expansion. Located at Dongchangri in Pyeongan-bukdo province, the site is equipped with a launch pad capable of firing long-range rockets. It is also where the regime launched a long-distance rocket loaded with a satellite. The North Korean news media reported that Kim instructed several elements of the facility to be modernized and rebuilt so that various rockets can transport military recon and other multi-purpose satellites. He also ordered the reconstruction and expansion of the launch pad area as well as the rocket assembly and testing facilities in order to launch large transport rockets. Kim reportedly said the West Sea satellite launch facility is where North Korea's grand dream and ambition of becoming an aerospace superpower are planted like seeds. He also stressed transforming it into the outpost for space conquest is a noble duty of the party and space scientists and engineers. North Korea launched ballistic missiles from the Sunan area in Pyongyang on February 27th and March 5th. Experts believe mid-range ballistic missiles were launched at a high angle, but Pyongyang has yet to release the missile's specifications. Instead, the regime announced tests to develop military recon satellites were conducted. Since long-range rockets for satellite transport utilize the same tech as North Korea's ICBMs, some speculate the regime is readying an ICBM launch on the pretext of satellite transport around the late North Korean founder Kim Il-sung's birthday on April 15th.
According to the Foreign Ministry, 30 South Koreans remain in Ukraine as of today. The figure is down from 30 for the previous day, as 4 people have left for Poland. The ministry said that of the remaining 30, 11 are planning to evacuate considering conditions on the ground. The other 19 still wish to remain in the country due to livelihood and other reasons. The tally does not include Korean nationals who entered Ukraine without government authorization. The wildfires raging in Ulsan for the 8th straight day have destroyed around 20,000 hectares of forest land. Concerns are rising as scores of trees have been burnt, and those that appear normal on the outside may have been damaged on the inside and could die soon.
Acres and acres of forest land swept by wildfires. Pine trees are charred and their needles completely burnt. These 50-year-old Kumgang pines have also bore the brunt of the devastating wildfires. In just 1 week, these evergreen trees have turned brown. The quality of soil plays a decisive part in pine trees' growth more so than other trees. When soil quality deteriorates, their growth becomes hampered down to their roots.
불의 영향이 강할 경우는 줄기가 크게 손상 입지 않았다 하더라도 살기가 힘든 나무들도 있기 때문에
To restore the burned-down forests, badly damaged trees must be cut down and new trees must be planted. But this is not an easy task in Ulsan, which is home to steep mountains. It will take at least 3 decades to restore the area's ecosystem to its original state, including microorganisms in the soil, as well as its local flora and fauna.
지형도 봐야 되고, 그다음에 그 현장에 잘 맞는 수종도 봐야 되고, 토양도 봐야 되고, 뭐 이런 여러 가지 조건들이 있어요.
The area destroyed by wildfires in Ulsan is similar in size to the city of Daegu. Measures are also needed to restore forest resources as local farmers make their living by cultivating pine mushrooms.
Daily COVID-19 cases in Korea have dropped below 300,000 in 2 days, but health authorities say the Omicron wave have just started to peak. Daily cases are expected to stay at the current level for about 2 weeks before declining. The government says regular hospitals should also provide treatment to COVID-19 patients to help the nation cope with the surge.
South Korea added 282,987 new COVID-19 cases as of Friday midnight. The number fell below 300,000 for the first time in 2 days. As the daily tally neared 350,000, the government's projection of the Omicron wave peak, authorities say the outbreak is reaching that point. From the 4th week of this month, cases are projected to decline.
이번 주를 포함해서 이번 주부터 앞으로 2주간의 기간이 정점 기간이라고 생각을 하고 그 이후에는 감소의 가능성이 있다 이렇게 판단하고 있습니다.
But handling around 300,000 daily cases until the decline could be a challenge. The infected now include young children, frail elderly individuals, pregnant women, dialysis and cancer patients, as well as people with external injuries. There is no choice but to treat COVID-19 patients in regular hospitals with no negative pressure rooms.
코로나19 음압 병실에서만 오미크론 환자를 치료하는 시스템은 지속 가능하지도 않고 효과적이지도 않아서 반드시 일반 의료 체계로의 전환이 필요한 상황입니다.
Seoul National University Hospital has been getting the regular wards of its internal medicine, surgery, and pediatric departments to treat coronavirus patients. The hospital believes patients with underlying conditions should receive COVID-19 treatment in the departments where they usually seek medical help. But other hospitals still balk at following suit due to problems in eliminating contact between regular patients and those infected with COVID-19, as well as medical expenses. From March 14th, the final diagnosis on COVID-19 will be made using only rapid antigen tests for professional use.
K-pop sensation BTS has held a live concert in Seoul for the first time in 2.5 years since 2019. Held amid the Omicron wave, fans signing and shouting were not allowed under quarantine rules, but their enthusiasm still heated up the stadium.
Stage in Seoul 드디어 마침내 우리가 중경기장에서 다시 만났습니다.
K-pop superstars BTS reunited with Korean fans for the first time since the outbreak of the pandemic. These 7 members were emotional just to be face-to-face with fans at a physical concert.
객석에 여러분들이 계시다는 것만으로도 지금 많은 것들이 달라진 기분이 너무 듭니다.
텅빈 객석 앞에 카메라만 놔두고 이렇게 촬영을 했었는데 지금은 이제 아미분들이 이제 지금 이렇게 여기 계시니까 너무 감동이고.
The first song to fill up the stage was On. Released in 2020, it's the first time On was performed live at a concert. Fans used to sing along with the singers, but this could not take place to ensure a safe environment amid the pandemic.
저희가 언제 한번 이렇게 박수로 맞는 콘서트를 하고 있습니다. 역사에 남을 콘서트예요. 그렇지 않습니까?
Fans maturely responded to the new rules, and instead of screaming and shouting, they waved their cheering tools and gave a thunderous applause as loud as their voices. The 15,000 audience seats for the latest concert is 1/3 of the over 40,000 allowed at the 2019 concert. For a concert gathering of over 10,000 people in the audience, it's a first in Korea since the start of the pandemic. The fans who had eagerly waited for this moment for 2.5 years showed up early at the concert site.
고등학교 때부터 팬이었는데 지금 코로나 이후에 제가 22살이 되었거든요. 2년 동안 콘서트가 없어서 너무너무 슬펐는데 실제로 라이브를 볼 수 있다는 생각에 벌써부터 마음이 떨리고
소리로 전하지 못해도 충분히 이렇게 박수로 응원하면서 이렇게 보기만 해도 팬들이 저희 마음도 알 것 같고.
2 more concerts are scheduled for Saturday and Sunday. Online streaming and theater screening are also available for those who couldn't get the tickets. BTS will then head to the United States next month to perform in Las Vegas and attend the Grammy Awards.